Hello everybody, I'm George Connolly from the Scratch Golf Tips Instagram, and today I'm going to be talking about how to get more backspin with your wedges and your shorter irons. I did a Q&A on the SGT Instagram just yesterday, and I got a lot of questions about this. I didn't want to respond with just a 1 or 2 sentence answer. I wanted to make a full-length video talking in depth about all of the aspects on how to get backspin, because it is a fairly it has some dimensions to it. So this whole video is going to be how to get backspin with your wedges. Stay tuned. The first thing that you should always be considering with getting backspin with your clubs is exactly how backspin is formed. So, backspin is formed simply by when your wedge comes through into the golf ball gets compressed into the wedge. These grooves will put the ball back a little bit like so, and it'll get this spinning motion as the ball comes through. That spinning motion, when it lands, it'll check up, and if you hit it well enough, it'll suck back like you see on tour. What a lot of people don't consider with backspin is how important your club and your ball selection is. So here I have a newer club. This is a wedge. This is a 52-degree Mac Daddy 4 from Callaway. It is an S grind, and as you can see, the grooves on this club are fairly sharp. I've had this club for less than a year. The clubs aren't worn down, and they're pretty deep. I clean out my grooves pretty frequently because I don't want any gunk in there. The deeper that the ball is compressed into these grooves, the more backspin you'll have. So the softer the golf ball you're hitting, the more backspin you'll get. If you're hitting a really hard golf ball, then it's still possible to get backspin, but you're not gonna get as much with the soft one. So I've got 3 golf balls here. The first one is a Callaway super soft golf ball. Right there, it's a super soft golf ball. Callaway makes a lot of very soft golf balls. Obviously the chrome soft, it has soft in the name, but this ball will spin very well because it has this, this soft core on the outside of it, this shell, and you can really spin it back nicely. Now the ball I play is right in the middle between soft and hard. Right now I'm playing a Bridgestone E6 Speed. The Bridgestone also has an E6 Soft, which I've tried playing, but I don't like the distance that I get out of it off the tee. But this ball is right in the middle. I feel like I have good distance with it, but also I have some solid feel around the greens. And now the last ball that everybody knows and loves is the Titleist Pro V1, one of the most popular golf balls of all time, but it is a very hard golf ball. It's not as easy to spin back. Now yes, you can definitely still spin this ball back, but just know that it's gonna be much more difficult than if you're hitting the Callaway Super Soft. Now that we know how the equipment you use will affect the backspin, let me take you down to the mat right here and I'll show you what your swing should look like at impact if you're looking to get some backspin on your shots. So at impact, if you're trying to spin a ball back, what a lot of people wanna do is they wanna get the ball in the air. So they're gonna try and scoop up at the ball, which is the last thing that you wanna do. Again, backspin is about getting compression on the grooves. So you need to have, you can't really swing too lightly. Don't obviously overswing, but you need to get really good, solid impact down into the ball. You need to be swinging down. You know, you're not trying to sting it, you're not trying to be down here, but you need to be making that downward contact into the ball. And what is really key here is making clean contact into the ball. Clean contact is important because if you have any grass between the ball and the club face, that grass gets right in between the grooves. So the ball can't get in there and there's no backspin. For that reason, that's why it's so difficult to get backspin out of the rough. You can only get nice backspin out of really clean fairway or maybe even a clean first cut. So just understand that if there's any grass there, if you hit the ball fat at all and then it sweeps across, you're gonna lose a ton of backspin. You're probably not gonna get much at all because that grass will prevent the ball from getting into the grooves. Now if you hit the ball thin like so, the ball isn't even touching the grooves in the first place, so you're also not gonna get backspin here. Backspin is very touchy. You need a solid impact with the ball and the grooves in order to get any backspin at all. But you really need to focus on hitting down into the ball. That's the only way that you're gonna get good backspin. Now, in my opinion, the difficult part about backspin in golf isn't getting the backspin, but it's controlling the backspin. On tour, we see all kinds of backspin. We see the shots that bounce up and they check and stop. We see the balls that land hole high, go 10 feet past the hole, and they suck back 20 feet. There are all different kinds of backspin, and your average amateur has a tough time controlling how much backspin they put on the ball. If you're accelerating really hard through the ball is going to come back further. If you have a little chip shot, the ball will check up. However, when you're on the driving range, you can't just hit the ball out there and you can't guess what it's doing because you can't see, and also on a driving range, you're not always hitting onto a nice perfect green. So the best way to perfect this is by going out to a course. Maybe you can go to an empty local par 3, or you can go on your home course after a lot of people are out there. But just be 80 yards out and see where the ball is landing, where the divot is. Always replace your divots, and then see where it sucks back to with different swings. This is really touchy. You can't just get backspin immediately and know exactly how to control it. So this is definitely a case of practice makes perfect. You need to put the time in to understand what your backspin does, but once you have it down and once you can control it a little bit better, it's such a crucial part to have in your game. If you're looking to score more birdies, save more pars, from 150 and in, backspin can really help you access tough located pins, and it can also just generally help you have better proximity to the hole. So if you have an old wedge with bad grooves and you're hitting a really hard golf ball, you're making it a lot harder on yourself. It's not impossible, but you're making it a lot harder on yourself. Finding the right golf ball is a totally different, I actually might make a video on finding the golf ball that works for you best. I might make that video soon. Comment down below if you'd like to see that. But that's all for this video. If you have any questions at all, leave them down below. I reply to all questions that warrant an answer. And thanks for watching. On the left side of your screen, you should see a subscription button to the SGT YouTube channel. On the right side, you should see a video that YouTube has recommended for you. So I encourage you to click on those. Thank you very much for watching. Play well and take care.